Amen. My God is awesome. Amen. If you would, amen. Stand on your feet. Turn to 2 Corinthians. We've been studying this in Bible study. Amen. So if I'm already ready to shout, you got to forgive me. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, find verse 17. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 17. There you find these words recorded. For momentary, light affliction is producing for us an eternal weight of glory far beyond all comparison. While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. If you don't mind, I want to preach, amen, the gospel according to Aretha Franklin, part 2. The gospel according to Aretha Franklin, part 2. You can coin this one, sometime it hurts like hell. Sometimes it hurts like hell. Recorded in 1995. This is my kind of music now. We in my genre. 1995 for the movie Waiting to Exhale. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. The movie is about 4 friends who bond over the shortcomings of their love lives. And 2 of them are messing with married men, and 2 of them want marriage more than anything. And through that, they deal with the hurt of relationships. And it was in my study that something pricked my mind, and God said, I need you to preach this for New Hope, that sometimes it hurts like hell. Is there anybody in here? Anybody can be real this morning that know that sometimes down here, the pain that we feel hurts like hell. Sometimes the heartache that we go through. Is there anybody in here that ever had to shake their head and look up to heaven and say, Lord, this hurts like? I know you want to be churchy and you want to act like you don't ever have no other words other than what's found in the Bible. But is there any real folk up in here that ever had to call a friend and say, listen, I don't need you to say anything, but I got to tell you that I'm hurting like hell. I got something going on the inside of me, and I don't have the words to really say, but I need to know, can I just vent for a moment? And so I just want to talk about 4 different types of hurts and then God's response to hurt. First of all, there is parental hurt. Some of y'all are in here right now and you're dealing with the fact that your mother or your father didn't love you like you think you should have been loved. Or maybe you're dealing with the fact that one of your parents walked away from you and had the audacity to try to come back. Preach up in here, Terrell Davis. You do know that sometimes our daddies will mess us up to the point we don't want to call God daddy because we've had bad father figures down here. And men, let me help you out. If you are a sorry man, you are setting everybody up in your family to have issues with God. Preach up in here. You see, the first thing we got to deal with is that sometimes we are dropped as infants from our parents. They didn't teach us what we thought they should have been teaching us. They didn't love us like we thought they should have loved us. They didn't treat us like we thought they should have treated us. Some of them cussed at us too much. Some of them yelled too much. Some of them hit too much. Some of them walked away and didn't say enough. And here we are now, 30 and 40, and we're still longing for mama and daddy. I mean, we look like adults. We got gray hair. We got wrinkles on our face. But let me tell you something. If you've been dropped by your parent, you struggle with that until you allow God to step in and heal you from the inside. Don't act all churchy. The reality is half of y'all got issues with your parents right now. Listen. Some of us, our anger problems are not because we have emotional issues with life. We got emotional issues with daddy. I wish a man would. Ladies, don't you think that you are exempt from this? That when you don't have good father figures, you spend your whole life trying to look for a daddy. Some of y'all call him sugar daddy, big daddy. Some of you get in bad relationships because your daddy didn't show you how a man was supposed to treat you in the first place. I keep reminding my daughter, if your man don't treat you like your daddy, get away from him. Why? You got somebody that'll watch over you and take care of you. And if whatever joker come up here, if he don't have your daddy qualities, leave him alone. I ain't never hit on you. Don't let him hit on you. I ain't cussed you out. Don't let him cuss you out. I ain't called you out your name. Don't let him call you out your name. I'm trying to set the example so that when you walk up to something that ain't a true man, you know it when you see it. Sometimes that parental hurt is there. That parental hurt is there, and you trying to be a daddy, but if you ain't never had a real daddy, you trying to learn on the job. You are literally trying to build the plane while you're flying the plane, and sometimes you will mess up, sometimes you will fall, but you got to learn how to get on your knees and ask God, Lord, I need you to hold me, I need you to shape me, I need you to mold me, because I'm trying to go where I ain't never seen nobody go before, and Lord, I need your help. Parental help, parental hurt. It's there. Sometimes your parents loved your sibling more than they loved you. Are there any black sheep in the family? You know what I'm talking about. There's nothing like when your mama show favoritism to somebody else. You get beat down for the same offense that little Johnny just got a lecture for. And if you're not careful, you'll build up a hatred toward Johnny, and it wasn't Johnny's fault. And some of y'all ain't talking to your siblings right now, and it was never their. Boy, I'm preaching a lot better than you praising right now. It's amazing what can happen along the way. And that's why, parents, you got to be careful to make sure that you treat every kid, listen, not equal, but according to the grace that they need. Oh, y'all missed that. You see, there are some kids that need a whooping, and there's some other kids that need a lecture. But if you don't bring it back and explain to both of them that grace is sufficient to cover their needs, they'll never understand what you're doing. And let me help some of y'all out. Some of y'all now need to go back and call your parents and apologize, because you realize now being a parent is harder than what it looked like. Maybe I'm in here by myself. Being a daddy is harder than it looked. I was critiquing my daddy growing up, but now on this side of fatherhood, I wish I could go back and sit him down and say, every time I cuss you in my mind, because I wasn't foolish to say it out of my mouth. I'm sorry. Why? Because now I realize that the same child that'll make you smile will make you cuss. You can have church if you want to. The same child that make you give a high five will make you grab your belt. And so sometimes we have parental hurt. Sometimes our parents just didn't do it. And there's nothing worse than to go stay with a friend and see parenting at a better level than what you getting. Some of us went to sleep at night wishing mom and daddy was like them other parents down the street. But let me help you out. Your parents did the best job they knew how to do, given what they knew then. And sometimes you got to go back and look at the fact your parents might have been dropped themselves. Maybe my daddy didn't leave me because he was sorry. Maybe he left me because he didn't know daddies was supposed to hang around. He didn't have a father in his house, and he didn't know that daddies was supposed to hang around. So maybe he left because he didn't know no better. Maybe the pain that he caused me was out of the pain that he had himself. And let me help you out. Hurting people will always hurt people. And until they get healed, they will continue to hurt. And sometimes you got to look at folk and say, I forgive you for the pain that you caused. Let me help you out. Jesus, while he's hanging on the cross, says, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. When you get in Christ, you got to look at your parents and say, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. They didn't know what they were doing. They didn't know how much damage they were causing. And here it is. I'm glad that while they was causing damage, you still had a hedge of protection around me. Are there any survivors that can wave your hand and say, in spite the house I grew up in, the Lord still held me, still loved me, and still kept me, that when I should have lost my mind, the Lord was right there with me, that when I was crying myself to sleep, it was God rocking me. Not only is there parental hurt, but sometimes there's family hurt. Sometimes the folk who should love you in the wrong way. Some of y'all know that some of y'all went to bed innocent but woke up touched. You didn't ask for this. You didn't have no billboard up. You didn't make no advances, but somebody in the family hurt you. And here you are 20 years later still suffering with the hurt of a family member. And let me help you out. There is no more hell than going to a reunion with somebody who's hurt you. Y'all don't want to talk to me. I'll talk to some of y'all over here. You want to talk about hurt like hell. Try breaking bread with somebody that touched you inappropriately and everybody acting like they don't know what's going on. And here you are in the middle of your pain and they have the nerve to smile and to give you a hug. Oh, hell no. You got to understand that there's some pain that unless God steps in, I'll struggle with it day after day and year after year. I need the Lord. There's some family hurt from the only folks not touching you, but also folk not speaking life to you. I'm talking about that ignorant auntie that said you wasn't going to be nobody, that ignorant uncle that said you wasn't going to amount to anything, and they didn't understand that their words were causing damage as you was growing up. Even now, you got to call uncle and auntie and say, listen, I forgive you for everything you said while you was drunk and sober. Because what you didn't know is what you was cursing, God had already blessed. Y'all don't get it. What you said wasn't going to be nobody, God had already ordered my steps. What you said wasn't going to amount to much. You didn't know that God knew the thoughts he was thinking of me and thoughts to bring me to a prosperous end and not to cause no. You just didn't. You just didn't know. And there's parental hurt. There's family hurt. Thirdly, there's love hurt. You did the best that you could, and it still didn't work out. You loved him with everything you had, and he still cheated. You did everything right, and she still messed up the money. Sometimes you can be saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost, and your relationship still not work out. Sometimes you can pray for your man. He can say he's saved. You can let him put his name on you and wake up one day laying next to a demon. Sometimes he can say he would never do that again. He'll never hit you again and still have a hiccup 2 and 3 and 4 times later. And sometimes we'll come to church, and because we put a little rouge on, because we put a little eyeliner on and a little makeup on, we think people can't see the hurt that we have. But is there anybody that understands God has given some of us the gift of discernment, and we see it when you walk in? But listen, you ain't never got to be fake up in here. This is one place that you can say, I am hurting, and I need somebody to pray with me. I need somebody to hold me. I need somebody to hug me. I need somebody. Sometimes it hurts like hell. Not only is there parental hurt, not only is there family hurt, not only is there love hurt, but then sometimes you have church hurt. Now let me help you out. Parental hurt, you will go adopt some other parents later on. Family hurt, you will go adopt another family later on. Love hurt, you will fall in love with somebody else later on. But church hurt. Folk don't go get a second opinion for church hurt. When they get hurt in the church, they have a tendency not to come back to the church. When they get hurt up in the sanctuary, they have a tendency not to come back to the sanctuary. And that's why I'm always harping on the fact, don't you hurt nobody in the sanctuary. Why? They not going to another sanctuary. If they don't find Jesus in here, they not going to find Jesus nowhere else. And you got to be careful hurting folk inside the church. Got to be careful not accepting everybody. God said, whosoever will, let him come. I know you don't like the way they look, but guess what? You ain't the judge. I know you don't like what skirts they have on, but guess what? You ain't the designer. There is a robe that we going to put on that only God's going to design and only God's going to make. And until then, don't look at my outward appearance. Look inside my heart and see my heart here. There's some church. There's some church hurt that I came to the church and they didn't love me. I came to the church and they didn't receive me. I came to the church and they didn't welcome me. I came to the church and nobody talked to me. I came to the church and nobody let them sit by them. I came to the church and nobody invited me. I came to the church looking for something and nobody there said anything to me. Don't just see my money, see me. Don't just see my gift, see me. See the fact that I'm 30, I got a family, and I'm doing the best I can, and I ain't got no 4-piece suits. All I got is these polos and some slacks. But see the fact that I'm showing up every Sunday, and see the fact that I'm trying to be a better man than I ever seen in my life, and see the fact that I need somebody to come along to affirm me as a man and say, I see you, brother, and keep doing what you... See, that ain't church. That's ministry. That's kingdom. And we don't want to do kingdom because we so good at church. But church is going to send us to hell, but kingdom won't. Kingdom will let us get to heaven. And we so focused on church that we're going to miss kingdom. And I'd rather have kingdom than have church any day. Sometimes it hurts like hell. Y'all don't mind if I give y'all some of these lyrics from this song, do you? It says, love was always supposed to be something wonderful to me. To watch it grow inside yourself, to feel your heart beat itself. Sometimes it hurts to love so bad when you know you're giving all you can. Sometimes it hurts to even laugh. You do your best, but it's still much too sad. Sometimes the pain is just too much, and it hurts like hell. That's the way it feels. Ooh, I'm glad she wrote that song. I don't know about y'all, but I ain't always had everything good and perfect. There have been some dark days in my life. There have been some hiccups along the way. There have been some tragedies in my life. I wish I could say that all the tragedies happened to me, but let me help y'all out and be real. I didn't cause some of the tragedies myself. As much as I'm mad at somebody else, I got to also be ashamed of some stuff I didn't did along the way. And I don't mind telling y'all that sometimes it hurts like hell, but then God gave me a word. Are y'all ready for this? God gave me a word for all of us in here that are going through some pains and some hurts like hell. Here's God's response to the hurt. Are y'all ready for this? First response God says is that it's small. Y'all too churchy for me. God says it is small potatoes. Y'all still ain't get it. He says, listen, whatever your hurt is, whether it's parental, whether it's family, whether it's church, whether it's relationship, God says it is still small in comparison to the larger scheme of things. Oh, I wish I had somebody. If I could go back in time and bottle up every tear I cried over temporary folk. Y'all too churchy for me. Let me talk to some folk over here. Is there anybody in your past that you wish you had them nights back to look at God and say, I thank you for letting them walk out on me? Y'all still don't get it. Is there anybody over here that when you look back over your past, you can thank God that they didn't call you back? Every time you call, God has a way of saying, listen, whatever that problem is, small potatoes. And then God said, not only is it small potatoes, God said, listen, it's temporary. Woo, y'all gonna make me shout by myself. I thought it was gonna last forever, and God said that pain you feel is just temporary. I got good news with somebody. I double dog dare you to write on your calendar when somebody break your heart and keep a journal. I double dog dare you. I promise you this, sooner or later you will have another circle where you will be able to write, I'm over it. Is there anybody here that can look back over your life and say, Lord, I thank you for being over it. I thank you I don't get mad no more. I thank you I ain't crying no more. Is there anybody in here that can look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, I've cried my last tear. I'm over it. I'm over it. Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike, I'm over it. Sally and Mary and Jesse, I'm over it. The Lord promised me that it was going to be over, and now I know him for myself. It was temporary. See, the problem we make permanent decisions about temporary folk. Preach up in here, Davis. Stop having babies by everybody you date. Some of them are just temporary. Don't be tied to somebody for 18 years that was supposed to be a one-night date. Y'all don't want to be real. You got to understand that you are not to share everything with everybody. If we wasn't online, I would name the women I dated when I was single, that now I look back at my life and I said, boy, they was all temporary. Y'all ain't gonna like this. They were placeholders until Jackie came along. I'm glad now I didn't make permanent decisions with placeholders. I'd be sitting here now tied to some folk that wasn't supposed to be in my life any longer than 60 days, some 90 days, but some 2 weeks. You got to understand, the promise God has for you, it ain't temporary, it's forever. And don't tie yourself to a temporary situation on your way to your promise. When you go home and him call you, let me give you a litmus test. I know if he is the promise. Ask him, does he love Jesus? If he can't say unequivocally and with some energy and some excitement, yes, I love Jesus, him ain't him.
him temporary. Second question I asked him, do you tithe? If him answer, I ain't give my money to the preacher, him temporary. Walk away. If him say, I don't tithe, that's Old Testament, him temporary. Walk away. You got to understand that if he's temporary, but you make him permanent, God ain't required to get you out of a mess you got yourself in. Uh-oh. Now, if he leads me to the mess, he's required to get me through the mess. But if I walk myself to the mess, I got to hope grace and glory come to my way. Some of y'all, boy, y'all didn't quit saying amen now. I ain't just picking on women, men. Let me help you out. With her call. Y'all know her. Her with the pretty hair. Some of it's hers. Some she bought on sale. Some she got to her friend who got her hair out. Ask her to bring her Bible over to you. If you flip through the pages and moths fly out, she ain't the one. Y'all. If you ask her when is the last time she talked to God and she don't remember, she ain't the one. See, the woman is supposed to bring the man favor. He cannot get favor from a woman who ain't talking to the man who gives out favor. Boy, y'all don't want to pray with me. Let me tell you this. If she don't work at the bank, she can't open an account at the bank for me. I got to have somebody that got credit with the man that when she say, God bless him, God say, I know her voice, and I'll bless him because of her. Is there any praying women up in here that know the man you got now is better now that you in his life because you've been praying him through some? God says, listen, God says, his small potatoes, he says it's temporary. Y'all ready for this one? Y'all ready for this one? I might shout on this one. And then God says, it is working more for you than against you. That didn't get me right there. He says, whatever that situation is, it's working more for you than it is against you. I wish I had some real believers that know that the trial you going through, that you've been struggling with all night long, I just gave you some good news that God says is working more for me than it is against me. I thought it was killing me, but it's making me stronger. I thought it was messing with my mind, but it's making me better. The situation I've been worried about is actually helping me. I feel like I can high-five the devil right now and say, thank you for pushing me closer to God. Thank you for pushing me deeper in God. Thank you for pushing me more intimate with God. If I never had a trial, I wouldn't know God was a covenant keeper. It's working more. It's working more for me than it is against me. It's working more for me than it is against me. I wish I had somebody understood that it's working for me. Listen. Every Sunday and Saturday, at some point, I get on my stationary bike at home. He ain't gonna believe this. As big as I am, I got a stationary bike. I get on there, and I get my feet up in there, and I push go, and I push the resilience thing, and I put it up to about 5 or 6, and I start biking. You ready? Without doubt, at the 10-minute mark, I always look down, and it's starting to hurt a little bit. And I realize I'm only 10 minutes in this thing. I'm going to ride my bike for 30 minutes, and I'm only 10 minutes in this thing. And it's already hurting. Then I keep going, and I'm always watching preaching when I'm doing it, because what I found out is, he says, yea, though you walk through the valley of the shadow of death, you can fear no evil, for thou art with me. When I'm on my bike, I'm going through the shadow of death. I need him to be with me. Without a doubt, at some point, I feel like something is crawling in my head. It's just sweat. So I take my shirt, I wipe my face, I wipe my head, I look at the time, and without a doubt, it always says the same thing. 19 minutes, 45 seconds. At that point, I go into my spiritual. I start asking the Lord to walk with me, Lord. Walk with me. While I'm on this journey, I want Jesus to walk with me. Had about 20 minutes, whatever I'm watching on TV, the preacher always gets excited. And I get excited. His energy go up, my energy go up. And then I look at the miles, and the miles say 5.5 miles. Oh, so you mean to tell me I didn't roll for 5.5 miles, but at 10 minutes, it was hurting. At 18 minutes, I was sweating like a pig. Now I'm at 6 miles, and I only got 3 more minutes to go. And then something tells me, run on, see what the end gonna bring. That's when I start pumping and humping it. And everybody start pushing it. And what I found out is this, that at 30 minutes, when I hit stop and I stop pedaling and I stand up, my legs are a little weak, but with each step, I get a little bit stronger. And God says, that's how your trial is. It looks like it's hurting you, but if you keep on going, the same trial that was trying to hurt you is only working for your good. Is there anybody here that you realize that God will give you some strength to walk over some stuff? God will give you the power to press through some stuff. And God will give you the joy that in the middle of your situation, you can look at your enemy and say, I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Is there anybody here that God will restore your strength if you keep on trusting whatever it is working more for me than it is against me? I feel good. I gotta go, y'all, but I can tell y'all this, I feel so much better riding on my bike. I feel better riding on my bike. The Lord will make a way out of no way. I'm gone, y'all. I'll take those hurts, turn them around. I'm a better daddy than my daddy was.
because God stepped in. Yes! We come to God. Come to God hurt. Come to God wounded. Come to God beat up. But he says, listen, all those things are going to work for your good. I know she cheated. It's going to work for your good. I know he didn't do you right. It's going to work for your good. I know your father wasn't there. But it's going to work for your good. But what keeps us from getting to the promises of God is hating folk who cause the harm. I don't know who I'm talking to you, but there's about 15 of you. Stop hating your father for what he didn't do. Stop hating, stop holding a grudge against your father for not being there. On this side of my father being gone, I lost some time mad at him, not talking to him. Because he wasn't a father, I thought he should have been. I thought he should have already been delivered from drugs. I thought he should have already been delivered from drinking. I thought he should have already been delivered from some stuff. And I got mad. And times I hated him because of who he wasn't. Then I thank God for when T was born. Because God started working with me, with my own father, through my son. And he started letting me know, are you delivered from everything? Here your son is looking up you from the playpen. Here he is looking at you from the changing table. Are you delivered from everything? I said, no, Father, I'm pottery. I'm clay on the wheel. And your hand is on me. And he says, what makes you think that you can be clay on the wheel, but your father can't? Instead of hating him for who he's not, love him for who he is. And let me deal with who he's not. And what you're going to find out is the more you love him, the more you're going to pray for him. I thank God now. Because God said, while he wasn't there, I gave you a grandma to stand in the gap. You never wanted for anything. You never had to even ask. Most of the times I put in her spirit what you needed. And instead of you seeing the blessing on your life, you mad at what you think ain't in your life. And you miss out on the fact that for every game your dad missed, your grandma was there. For every good report card your daddy didn't see, your grandma saw. And so what I need you to understand is all those things, they happen. Don't get it wrong. They happen. Don't try to be like Dr. Phil and Oprah. It happened. But thank God that it didn't kill you.
It happened. Every pain happened. It was real. But thank God, it didn't kill me. And thank God that he put somebody in your life to watch over you. Sometimes, y'all, it hurts like hell. But now I'm of the age and the place that I realize in my hurt, God has a balm in Gilead. God has medicine for my soul. God has peace for my crisis. God has joy for my tears. Now I'm of the age that I can't run to grandma no more, but I can run to him. And what I found out, as good as it felt in grandma's arms, it feels better in Jesus' arms. Yes, sir. As good as it felt for her to say it's going to be all right, it feels better when God says, I got you. Y'all don't mind if I get young on y'all, do you? Young folks look at you and say, I got you. That means that no matter what comes, they got your back. I got you. And I need to talk to about 30 of y'all. God told me to tell you, I got you. You've been worried about it. You've been struggling. You've been staying up all night. God said, I got you, baby. I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. And we're going to give the invitation. But there's some people here before the invitation. I need you to forgive your fathers. Before the invitation, I'm coming down. I just need you to come. Shake my hand, hug me. You're saying to the enemy, and you're saying to God, I forgive my father. I'm not going to live in my now mad at my dad about then. It's too important. There's too much favor. There's too much ministry. I can't accomplish it. Mad at my father. Wherever you at right now is your day. Maybe your daddy wasn't in your life. You got to let it go. God says, I got you. God says, I got you. As we stand all over the sanctuary, if the Spirit is telling you to come, God says, I got you.